Hi everyone. I wanted to give you another tips and trick video here on some stuff you can do with Excel. Now, what we do, and a lot of people do, is we'll export stuff out of QuickBooks to try to, well, like in this exact situation, this right here is, okay, this is a transaction journal from a sales order from QuickBooks. And if you're ever used to working with QuickBooks, QuickBooks never lets you export like stuff you really need. It's a real generic program. If you're selling 3 things a day on Etsy, Books is going to be fine for you to help you with your accounting and help your accountant with all your paperwork. But if you're really trying to do something that, like say for instance, if you generate an invoice from a sales order, you can actually do like a kind of a profit and loss on that exact invoice to see where you're at, your profit margins. Profit margins are kind of pretty important when you're trying to run a business. The thing about QuickBooks is they don't really, they don't really know about profit and loss because, yeah, QuickBooks just isn't a great program for this kind of stuff. But anyways, this has been exported from QuickBooks from a sales order, and it's just a transaction journal. So what a transaction journal does is we are actually able to get the quantity. This is basically a sales order, which is going to get converted to an invoice eventually if the customer takes it. That's another reason you just don't want to keep converting all your sales orders to invoices, because every once in a while your boss, somebody's going to wonder, why do you void out all these invoices? They're going to wonder if something's up. So anyways, when this comes through, we did get the quantity, we did get the sales price. Of course, we didn't get our cost, something we really need. So we're going to have to reference another spreadsheet with some VLOOKUP or some kind of lookup to get that cost of the product. But what it did is when it does this kind of report or transaction report, it gives you, like right here, this total invoice was $489.32. So it's going to have credit and then it's going to have debits. That's why these have the negative on them, because this is a $489.32 credit, and then you're going to have a $489.32 debit, which is made up of all these different line items on here. If you added all this up, it's going to add up to negative $489, which is going to equal that out. Okay. So the problem we got is when we did the report, we clicked on, we wanted items, because items is basically the stock number from QuickBooks. Item description is the description of the item. Well, with QuickBooks, you kind of like, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. They do it the QuickBooks way, and that's the easiest way for their programmers there. Now, I would have really liked these items over here in this column. I would have liked to have had the items with only, now I know this is a weird item number. This is an item number with a hyphen in the middle of it. And a lot of companies use hyphens to separate vendors and all kinds of different stuff. So in this particular instance, everything from this left parenthesis over to the right is not needed here, because if you look into the item description, it tells you the same exact thing right here. Now, something that we do have to reference here is that they have in parentheses, it looks like this is probably like case quantities, looks to me. And then they got other part number references where it says see this, yada yada. But so anyways, I already have all this stuff over here, but this stuff right here does not have the part numbers. Now, something you got to know, these are cell values, and when you click up here, that's what you see up here. If we were to click on one of these over here on this side, these are formulas that's showing up. So the cell value is the 11088, but the formula is what was used to do that, which I don't even know what they're doing there. It's a QuickBooks thing. So, but anyways, what we want to do is we want just our stock numbers over here. So there's a bunch of different ways of doing that. I'm going to show you the way that I do it, and it's pretty fast. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go here, and I'm going to click on this cell, then I'm going to go Control H. When I do that, it brings up a find and replace box. Now I could go Control F on a Windows PC, or I could go Control H. Control F is just going to bring up a find box. Control H brings up find, and it also has the replace in it. So what I'm going to show you here is where it says find what. A lot of people, what they would do is they would put a left parenthesis, then an asterisk, which is the multiplication symbol in Excel, but it's called an asterisk. And then they would put another right parenthesis. And what that would do is that would search everything from this left parenthesis to this right parenthesis. So it would delete everything in there, which is good. But the problem we're going to run into is if we have, like here, we go here, we have a left parenthesis, we have a left parenthesis, we have a right parenthesis, and we have a right parenthesis. So that's not going to work, because what that's going to do, I'll show you what it'll do. We'll go here, and I'll go ahead and I'll go replace. And what it's going to do is it's left me my stock number, which is great. But see how it left this over here? Because this was in between two other parentheses. So I'm going to hit Control Z. And another thing good about using this type of, you also do have to click back on the spreadsheet, and then it's back there. Now another thing that is kind of good about using this method, and the reason I like to do it is because you can write a macro to do the same thing, but once you do a change with a macro, you cannot hit Control Z to go back if something gets screwed up. So by using this formula, or this, find and replace, we're able to just hit Control Z and put it back to the way we were. So that didn't work out for me, obviously. So what I want to do is I want to go here and I want to take out that right parenthesis. And what it's doing too, I failed to mention that when it says replace, and if I click in here, now I have it'll let you click wherever you want. But anyways, this is just a blank. There's nothing in here. That's just going to replace it with a blank. Now you can do things too if you wanted to. Like say you wanted to format this area right here when you go back, you can go format. You can say put a border. Let's see here. Let's go or let's fill it. Borders don't color very good, but if we wanted to fill that right there, we could hit our replace, and then that would replace that. Left our stock number in here and filled that. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to close that. I'm going to undo this. I want to just show you what I did so you do. I'm going to hit Control H again. Now, and it stays in here too, so that's kind of nice. Now, I got a left parenthesis and an asterisk, which is what we call a wild card. So that worked. I don't want to fill that. I just wanted to show you how you could fill that if you ever need to go back and fix anything. So I'm gonna clear that fill there. So now I got a blank square, and I got a left parenthesis and an asterisk for a wild card. So if I hit replace, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click right here too. And then if I hit replace, it's going to be replacing one deal at a time. If I hit replace all, let's do this just to show you what goes on here. Okay, so it replaced all. Here's what it told me it did. It says all done. We made 14 replacements. So I'm like, wow, 14. I only wanted to do these 4 over here. So if I click here and I hit undo, see these over here? These had like parentheses and all kinds of other stuff that are gone now. Also, these over here, these numbers are not showing up right because those formulas have just been deleted. So if I hit Control Z, it's going to put everything back the way it was. Now see all these back here. Now if I click on this, like I said, I can tell that's a formula. This is my cell value 11088, but I actually have a formula over here. Now if we look in this third column here, or third row, it says it's going to do this by formulas. So this is another thing about Excel and Microsoft. This has been like this forever. There's been millions of complaints about it, but they don't ever fix it. So the way you get around this is you really don't want to mess with formulas because you could have formulas that you don't want to mess with. So there's a couple ways you can do it. When you bring stuff into Excel, you can say don't bring it in with formulas, just bring in the cell values. Stuff like that. You can delete formulas, if they're not important to what you're trying to do here. But the way to get around this, and the way we're going to get around this, is we're going to go ahead and we're going to go up here and we're going to select the whole column. So now we're only going to be changing things in this column. So if we go ahead and hit replace all now, here's what it said it did. It replaced 5 replacements. And that's exactly what we wanted to do, because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that we wanted to replace. Now if we hit OK here, click back into our spreadsheet, here's our stock numbers the way we want them. All that extra description stuff that got in there, because you can't. Now there are programs you can spend tons of money for, and they're just like glorified macros that do this exact same stuff. But I just wanted to show everybody that, and I hope you liked this video. And if you need help with some other stuff, leave it in the comments, and me or somebody else hopefully can get around with helping you. And please like and subscribe. Thank you.